after the evacuation orders have been lifted, a lot of folks across the county are making their way back home. But to what? In some cases, nothing. And coping with the sudden destruction of their homes is difficult and actually can eventually lead to something called post-traumatic stress disorder. You've heard about it. Dr. Adrianne Ahern is here to tell us how victims can cope. Thank you for coming in this morning.
Thank you for having me.
I think this is a very important issue.
Sure
I mean, there are hundreds and hundreds of people going home to what was their home, and now there's just nothing.
You bet. You know, post-traumatic stress, or PTSD, is really a conditioned reaction that is hardwired in, and if we do nothing with it, we are, we're likely to experience anxiety and panic and not really know what to do about it.
And we talk to so many people, we've been showing so many stories of these people who they say, it's just a house. Even just 10 minutes after they've seen it, or 5 minutes after they've seen that there's nothing left, they automatically, it's just a house. They're kind of detached from it. But that could come back later, too.
You bet, because, those are real feelings of loss and grief. And if we don't allow ourselves to feel that, that's what leads into more serious problems.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people look at the video, and this is what they're coming home to. And they obviously they didn't see the fire itself, some of them, because they were gone beforehand, but coming home to just nothing. Now, I know that you've written a book, and in it we're talking about kind of snapping out of it, kind of dealing with loss and dealing with change in your life. You have 5 steps to calm yourself.
Yes.
When these people start to feel really, really overwhelmed. Can you go through some of those
steps?
You bet I
can. See, snap out of now is really about snapping out of negative patterns of reaction.
Okay.
So that are holding you back and you might not even be aware of. So really the first step is to acknowledge your feeling. Because, we don't allow ourselves to know what we're feeling. We don't know if we're angry, sad, or if it's lost. So we have to acknowledge the feeling. Step 2 is identify how this feeling is making us react. What are the reactions that are being triggered by these feelings? Are we getting into more conflicts with our spouse or our children? Are we waking up in the middle of the night with nightmares? Are we coming to work edgy and not being able to make decisions? So identify the reactions. The third one, and this is a step that I always have in each one of my techniques, breathe. When we take a deep, slow breath, we clear our mind and we release tension and anxiety from our body. 4 is the most powerful, and that's activating a positive feeling. And I'm not suggesting getting rid of or reducing the loss. We have to feel the loss.
Right.
But once we acknowledge it, experience it, then we have the potential to activate a feeling of compassion, appreciation, or caring. And that actually has a healing effect on our mental, emotional, and physical states. So we can actually heal ourselves in the moment.
Something in that is do something for yourself as well, right?
You bet. I mean, when we do something for ourselves or when we do something for someone else, we feel appreciation and caring and compassion. So those are really powerful states to activate and sustain.
Right. And then your last one?
The last one is when we reach this place, we are calm, centered. Ask yourself, what is the most important thing to do, most valuable thing to do in this moment? Your heart will tell you the answer. Maybe it's to reach out to help somebody else. Maybe it's to ask for help for yourself.
That's a good point. Right, as we're wrapping up right now, tell me when it's to the point where you see your neighbor or your loved one or somebody in your family, when do they need to seek help?
It's different for each one of us because we respond to stressors differently. But if you have a question, I would suggest that you call, there's EAPs, Employee Assistance Programs in most organizations, and call them, ask them, and maybe they'll refer you to a therapist, because sometimes it's just about talking it through over and over again. And a therapist is a good person to do that with.
Absolutely. All right, the book is called Snap Out of It Now, and it's Dr. Adrianne Ahern. And thank you very much for coming in. Appreciate it. And you can get some information on this book on our website, KUSI.com, and we'll link with yours.
Great.
Thank you.
You bet.